Deborah Adeni was the perfect pastor's daughter, until she wasn't. By day she led prayers and preached the word of God. By night she was Debbie Lace, Lagos' most sought-after party girl. But when a powerful man's obsession turned dangerous and a single photo threatened to expose her, she had to choose: run forever or face the truth. This isn't just a story of secrets, it's about what happens when the girl everyone thinks is holy is one mistake away from hell. How far would you fall before you let yourself be found? The morning sun filtered softly through the thin curtains of room 12B in the University of Lagos female hostel, casting golden lines across Deborah Adenie's face as she knelt beside her bed. Her lips moved in silent prayer, fingers gliding gently over the creased, annotated pages of her Bible. It was exactly 5:30 a.m., the sacred hour she'd honored every morning since she turned 12. Outside, campus life was yawning to life. A generator sputtered. The scent of a cara drifted through the corridor. Somewhere nearby, girls giggled their way to early lectures. But inside Deborah's room, it felt like time had frozen, in reverence, in ritual. She was the pride of Living Flame Chapel, the pastor's jewel, the girl parents used as an example in every sermon and testimony. "Debbie, you're coming for morning devotion, Abi," her roommate Tochi called from the doorway, already dressed in her crisp white fellowship uniform. Deborah didn't need to answer. They both knew she would be there. She was always there. The cracks began like hairline fractures, barely noticeable at first. It started with the gnawing hunger during Wednesday fasts while her classmates feasted on spicy jollof rice. Then the sharp slap of humiliation when Sister Ngozi saw her laughing with Toby, the handsome medicine student, and immediately called her mother to warn her. But the real break came during Youth Week. A fiery guest preacher pointed to her from the pulpit. "This one, she's a shining example of purity." The church erupted in applause. Deborah forced a smile, but inside something cracked. That night, alone in the hostel bathroom, she stared into the mirror. The girl who stared back looked tired, hollow, her eyes rimmed with sleeplessness. Her smile, dead. When was the last time she did something for herself, not for her parents, not for church, not for God, just for her? Vanessa Nwachukwu didn't walk. She glided, and when she entered Deborah's life, she brought chaos wrapped in perfume and lipstick. They met during a law elective Deborah deeply regretted taking. While students struggled with dense legal jargon, Vanessa sat at the back, filing her nails and sipping iced coffee, answering questions like it was all a joke. After class, she cornered Deborah by the water cooler. "You're Pastor Adeni's daughter, right?" Deborah nodded cautiously, gripping her bottle like a shield. Vanessa's smile was sly. "Must be exhausting, being perfect all the time." That line echoed in Deborah's ears long after Vanessa walked away, hips swaying, gold hoops catching the light. The invitation came on a Thursday. Just a small gathering, Vanessa said, slipping her a card with an address in Lecky. Nothing serious, no pressure. Deborah prayed about it, fasted even. But when Tochi left for choir practice that Friday night, Deborah found herself digging through her suitcase for a pair of jeans her aunt had given her, the same jeans her mother had called worldly. She told herself she'd only go for an hour. The mansion was surreal. Glass walls, glowing pool, designer furniture. Afro beats thumped through hidden speakers. Girls in designer dresses laughed over cocktails. Someone handed Deborah a glass of champagne. She hesitated, only for a second. Then she drank. That night, Debbie Lace was born. What began as a thrill became a double life. She snuck out after fellowship meetings, changed clothes in bathrooms, applied makeup by torchlight. Her Instagram alias, @DebbieLace_, began to grow. She never showed her full face, but her wigs, poses, and filtered glow made her addictive. She still prayed, still fasted, still cried to God, but only during the day. At night, she sipped wine on yachts, accepted gifts from men, let strangers call her beautiful. And then came Chief Oduwala. He was older, richer, dangerous. After their first dinner, he handed her an envelope. "For your time," he said with a smirk. "You deserve to be spoiled." She hesitated, but her brother needed school fees. Her mother's meds were overdue. Her father's church generator had packed up again. So she accepted. Chief bought her a new phone, paid her rent, flew her to Abuja, but his kindness had claws. The first time she laughed too long at another man's joke, he grabbed her wrist so tight she had to ice it afterward. "It's nothing," she told herself. "He just cares too much." But slowly Chief became possessive. He tracked her movements, questioned her friends, demanded she quit fellowship. Deborah told herself she was in control. Until one morning her phone buzzed. No name, no caption, just a photo. Her, in Chief's bed, bare, sleeping. "Tell your daddy's church to expect a Sunday surprise." Her fingers trembled. She tried calling Vanessa. No response. The next day she rushed to Vanessa's hostel. Gone. Room cleared, phone disconnected, no trace. That night another message. "We know who you are. Pastor's daughter, church leader, fraud, the countdown begins." She shut off her phone. She hadn't spoken to Tochi in weeks. She couldn't pray. She barely recognized herself. Then came the revival week. During altar call, a visiting prophet paused. His eyes scanned the crowd, then locked on her. "You in the third row, the quiet one. You're dancing on the edge of fire. Come home before the flood takes you." The room fell silent. Her body went numb. Her mind screamed. Her knees gave way. That night on her hostel floor, Deborah collapsed, weeping harder than she ever had. The mask shattered. She didn't eat for days. Deleted her Instagram, burned her wigs, blocked Chief. She even wrote a letter to her father, but never sent it. The breaking point came 3 nights later. She wandered outside in the rain, her bare feet padded against wet concrete. She sat on a bench near the chapel, completely soaked, whispering to God, begging him to find her in the dark. Everyone in school heard about her story. Some mocked her and some pitied her. Then, a knock at the door. Her mother. She didn't shout, didn't accuse, and she just opened her arms and said, "Come home." And Deborah did. She confessed it all, through tears, through shame, through silence. Her parents didn't disown her. They prayed. They listened. They held her. She returned to Unilog the next semester, not as a leader, not as Sister Deborah, but as a girl learning how to start again. She enrolled in therapy, began writing again, volunteered at outreach programs. One afternoon during outreach, she overheard 2 girls whispering about a girl who used to do runs in Lecky but vanished after a politician beat her up. The name? Vanessa. Deborah stood still, goosebumps rising. She whispered a prayer for the girl who introduced her to the world, but never warned her of the fire. 5 years later, Deborah Adeni stands in a crowded auditorium facing hundreds of girls in headscarves, jeans, lashes, and fears. Her voice is steady. Some fires don't destroy you, they refine you. The girl who once lived 2 lives now helps others find their true one. She's no longer a prisoner of perfection, or shame, or silence. She's just herself, and for the first time, that's enough. Moral of the story: the world may offer glamour, but only truth gives peace. When you live a double life, you eventually lose your real self. But even when you fall, there is still a way back, if you dare to return.